Hey, I'm Captain Kurt Pfister. Thanks for joining me here. Hey, I get a lot of questions and a lot of different comments from people that email and write us in. If you have any questions too, by the way, just feel free to contact us. Usually by phone is the best way. We answer the phones from 8 in the morning until midnight. Right now, we're going to do a little series of tips and tricks. This is one of our videos. One of the questions I get asked all the time is, how do you know when you're going to run out of gas? And the answer from other instructors is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. In fact, it's downright stupidity. I see these other dealers and other instructors out there, or so-called instructors, telling their students to use a fuel check mirror. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. If you see a guy giving you one of these, run from him. He's already putting you in danger. And if he's stupid enough to use one of these things, then you know what? I wouldn't even want him as an instructor. Let me tell you how a real pilot does it. First, let me tell you what they do so you understand what I'm talking about here and why I think it's just absolutely ridiculous. Any aircraft that you're going to fly, you're going to want to know how much fuel you have. You're going to want to know how long it's going to last. You want to know the distance you're traveling. With a powered paraglider, it's not so particular because we can just about land anywhere. In fact, while you're flying, you should always keep a landing field below you, and a motor out is no big deal. It's no incident as long as you keep somewhere to land below you. But you still don't want to have to walk home. You still don't want that inconvenience or the possibility of that shutting off. So the big question is, how do I know? Well, a fuel check mirror is what the other guys are doing. And what that is a little tiny concave mirror that can either be attached to your hand, or it can be attached to your cage, or it can be attached to what most people do is put it on a telescopic key ring that goes in and out. So you can, while you're flying, get this, and I'm not joking about this. This is what other instructors are including with their package, or what they're teaching the students, and it's absolutely asinine, okay? Because it puts the pilot in danger. He's up flying around, sometimes with other people, sometimes with trees and wires and obstacles, and while he's flying, at some point, he has to think, geez, how close am I to running out of fuel? All right, first of all, he has to be triggered to think that. And what if he isn't? Well, then he's running out. And every year, I know at our fly-in, some of the students and people, we have people come in that I haven't trained that are continually running out of gas somewhere. I'm going to show you how to never run out of gas, never be stranded like that, and not put yourself in jeopardy. So here you are flying along, and at some point you say, gosh, how much fuel do I have? How much is left? How much airtime do I have? And so what you do is you pull out your handy dandy fuel check mirror, and you forget concentrating on where you're flying. Forget about your friends that are flying with you, or whether you're going to cross into their path or whether they're crossing in front of you. Maybe they don't even know you're checking your fuel, and they don't even know that you're going to try to avoid them. Or maybe there's some power lines coming up while you're sitting there playing with optical illusions at 1,000 feet, and you're trying to position your mirror and look at it. You're not looking out here. You're not looking at your fellow pilots. You're not looking at the trees. You're not looking at anything. You're looking right here in your hand, or you're fixed on that mirror, trying to get a glimpse of how much fuel you got left. And then when you finally get it, you say, oh, okay, I've got about that much fuel left. And you start flying for a little bit. But wait a second, how long is that going to last? Well, you don't know that either. So you go back and you check again and again and again and again. And any idiot that's teaching this to his students ought to be hung up by his toes, because this is just ridiculous. And it not only puts the pilot in jeopardy, but it's such an inconvenience while you're trying to enjoy a flight to have to sit there and get a fuel check mirror out. I want to puke when I see this. Anyways, here's what you're going to do. You're going to do it like a real pilot. A real pilot knows how much fuel is in his aircraft, and he knows the burn rate. And so what you do is you take your tank, you fill it up, and what I like to do is start with an empty tank, and I like to, if you don't have marks on the side of your tank showing how much is in there, what you can do is take 1 liter increments, put a liter of fuel in there, put a mark on the side of the tank with a magic marker. Take another liter, put a mark every liter, okay? And then what you do is put it up to at least halfway, a half a tank, because we know you'll get at least an hour out of that. And what I want you to do is, right when it's right on the money, half full, I want you to take it up, look at your watch right before you start that motor. So if it's 8 o'clock in the morning, you're going to fly for exactly 1 hour. Now, don't put yourself in jeopardy if the weather starts to turn bad while you're gauging your burn rate. Just land. But I want you to fly for a solid hour. When you come down, simply look at your tank, and I want you to get a logbook out, and I want you to log in how much you burned in that 1 hour, and then fill it up again. The next time you fly it exactly for another hour. See how much you burned on that. Why am I having you do multiple? Because it changes from day to day. Hot weather, no wind. You're going to burn a lot more. The air is thinner. The prop's going to be pushing on thin air. The wing is in thin air. Your burn rate is going to be so much. And cool air, a little bit of breeze. You're going to be using less throttle to get up. Everything affects your burn rate. I can't tell you what your burn rate's going to be for you. Why? Because you're not the same body weight as me. You're not flying the same motor as me, perhaps. You're not flying the same size wing. Perhaps you're flying in Utah at 7,000 feet, and I'm over here in Florida or Ohio, at 900 feet above sea level or at sea level. Everything is going to affect your burn rate. And so you need to learn your burn rate for you. And what you're going to do is you're going to log about 10 or 15 of them. And let's say one day you come down after your 1 hour flight and you burn 3 liters. Okay, you log that in your book. If you want to get even more specific, you can say I burned 3 liters. There was a 3-mile-an-hour breeze, and it was 85 degrees out that day. The next day you burn the next one and the next one. Today I burned 3 liters. The next day I burned 2 liters. The next day I burned 3 again. The next day I burned 4 liters. Then I went back down to 3. It's going to fluctuate. We don't want to get an average. What we want to do is after we get 10 or 15 of them logged, just take our crappiest one and always assume that you're going to have the worst burn rate you ever did. And if you had 10 or 15 logged, chances are that's your burn rate. And all you have to do now is listen to this. Before you go, you look at your tank, look at the marks, and see how much you have fuel in there. If you know your burn rate is exactly, let's say it's 4 liters, and you look at your tank and you have 3, you know you're not going to be able to fly for a solid hour. It's real easy to fix. And what's really nice is this. You put a simple wristwatch on once you know your burn rate, and as soon as you get in the air, you look at the time, you know how much fuel you have left, and now you're not playing optical illusions with a fuel check mirror. Okay? You're just glancing at your watch and continuing flying. You're not putting anybody in danger. You're not trying to play optical illusions with a mirror. You're not looking, you're able to look and see where you're flying, and all you have to do is glance at your mirror. And now you've got your burn rate. If you can look, and if for some reason you're not going to make it back to your airfield, you can just look at your watch and say, well, I got 15 more minutes, but the wind has picked up and it doesn't look like I'm going to make that distance, but I've got a good field below me right now, and you can land safely. You can make decisions not based on multiple checks on a fuel check mirror. Anyways, I hope this enlightens you on some things. Start using it because it's a great way to really enjoy your flight. It's a great way to be safer while you're flying, and it's safe for everybody around you that's flying with you because they don't know that you're probably checking your fuel. So thanks for joining me. I'm Captain Kurt Pfister. Be sure to subscribe to our channel below, and you'll see more videos as I make them. We're making a lot more videos now, and there's going to be a lot of more tips and tricks just like this one to help you with your experience in powered paragliding. If you have any calls, call me. We open the phones from 8 in the morning until midnight for the past 28 years, and you'll always be able to get me. We offer unlimited free training in all 50 states, so you can always call us. If you get equipment from Flight Junkies, you're not going to pay $2,500 for training like the other guys. You should only pay for equipment, and training costs should never be a hindrance for you getting good, solid flight training. And I've got, as of the making of this video, I have 1,026 students trained, and so far I have a flawless safety record. So give us a call anytime. I'd be glad to help you out. Bye-bye.